for that. So I was the kid, and they were paying for all of us to go, and I thought that's pretty sweet. Yeah, let them pay. It's good when someone else pays for it. But not once did my kids ever say, "What do we owe you?" Not once did they even know how much it cost. You know what? They knew one thing and one thing only. I can't do it. I can't get it. The only way I'm going to get it is if you give it. And they asked, "Can we go to Legoland? Can we have a hot dog? Can we get cotton candy? How about that churro? Can we go on that ride?" They knew they couldn't do any of that stuff unless I just said yes. And then they were ready to receive it with joy and just gratitude. Write this down. I think this is what Jesus means when he says, like a child. I think it means we need to receive the kingdom with helpless, humble, and hopeful expectation. Receive the kingdom with helpless, humble, and hopeful expectation. Listen, if you're trying to earn yourself a spot in heaven, give up. You're not good enough. I'm not good enough. But if you want to rely on God's grace, then you need to learn to just open your hands and receive. Jesus died for me. I'm going to receive that. Jesus promises me forgiveness. I'm going to receive that. Jesus offers me the Holy Spirit. I'm going to receive that. Jesus is going to welcome me into heaven because of His work. I'm going to receive that. It's not about me. It's not about all the stuff that I'm trying to do. It's not about me trying to be a good person. It's just me receiving grace from God. And then go a little further, and we get to the end of Mark 10, verse 46. See what happens here. Then they came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, which means son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." That's not what he needed. He needed sight, right? Or money. He was begging. He needed, there's something going on inside his heart where Bartimaeus said, "Listen, the number one thing I need is I need mercy. I don't deserve Jesus coming over here and healing me. I haven't earned anything from Jesus. If He chooses to come over here and heal me, it's because He's just giving me grace. It's because He's just showing me mercy. He's just doing something for me that I can't do for myself." Listen, Jesus never took payment for any of His miracles. He never walked up to someone who said, "Jesus, would you heal me?" And Jesus said, "Okay, what do you got?" "Well, I got this weird goiter on the side of my body right here, and I know you can remove it. Can you just take it?" "Okay, let's see. It's about softball size. Well, $5. Jesus never does that. All of Jesus' healings are purely by His just grace, His giftedness. And so I think the next thing we've got to jot down if we want to receive the kingdom is this. Call to the Son of David for mercy. And watch how Jesus responds. Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called to the blind man, "Cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you." Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked him. The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. Are you good enough for God? No. None of us are. But is there grace enough for us? Yeah. That's just the way God works. That's just the way Jesus has always worked. Receive it like a child and call to Him for mercy. And He will say, "What do you want me to do for you?" And you will say, "I want to be with you." And He will say, "Your faith has made you whole." That's what I'm asking you to do today. Some of you in this room have never received that. You've never had the moment in your life where you said, "Yes, it really is all about God and not about me." and you've never honestly said, I want to hand my life over to Jesus because he is the only one that is qualified to be called good. I'm not good enough, but there is grace enough for me, and today I receive it. Some of you have never done that, and I invite you today to do it. In just a moment, we're going to take a time of reflection, and we're just going to be thinking about what our response to God is on this. And I invite you to take that Connect card we gave to you, and on the front side, just put a check mark in, I want to know what it means to follow Jesus. On the back side, you can reflect a little bit with your thoughts and jot down some things. But right now, as we enter into that time of reflection, I want to just ask you to bow your heads and listen in your hearts for just a moment. Just in an attitude of prayer, bow your heads before God, close your eyes, and I want you to think, has there been a time in my life when I've received this for me? If there has been a time, am I still relying on God's grace today, or am I trying to do it on my own? If there hasn't been a time, do I want a relationship with God? Do I want to enter into eternity? Do I want to have heaven in my future? And if so, there's only one thing you can do, and that's receive it.